Right? Now, I know that sounds tough. I know that sounds tough language, all right? But, I can't guarantee. I just tell you the truth, that in the schools that I was talking about this morning, that is a type of stuff they're doing. And that's the only way you're going to get that sort of quite dramatic increase in results. If you remember that slide I started from this morning, right? The highly deprived schools were barely, even the richest kids in those schools were barely getting to 50%, right? Those schools were up at 80% for the total population, all right? That's the only way they're going to get it, okay? Now, you can't do that tomorrow morning, all right? You will move towards that over time. But that's the level of ambition I think we need, yeah? Does that sort of answer your question? It answers it theoretically. What it doesn't do is answer it practically, right? And in a sense, if you want to pursue this, this is what we've got to problem solve, right? We've got to be saying, how do we move to that? So let's have, a group of you. Let's have an expert group representing each school who are going to work on this let's problematize it. Let's share our approaches to doing this. That's how we up the game as a group of schools. It's much harder to do it just by yourself. But if we're all working towards that, right, and we have an expert group of principals or vice principals working on that issue and a couple of others, then we up the whole, our whole game. Yeah? God, I'm really got rid of the jet lag now, haven't I? I'm really getting into my stride on this. I'm really becoming evangelical. Just take a moment amongst yourselves just to debate that, because I know this is really tough. This is tough stuff. This is rubber hitting the road stuff. Just take a debate for a minute or two. I'll take a question or two, and I just want to finish up on a few similarly challenging and robust words about managing change. Let's just stop there and just get we were just talking here that although this seems a bit daunting, right? Once it's in place, people really like it, because that's how you grow, that's how you learn from others, But it's quite difficult to move on the journey to achieve it. I used to, when I started this work in the late 80s, or early 80s, I used to go into a staff room and look at who would smile at me, and then go and start working with them. And when you begin with volunteers, you end with volunteers, it seems, and so that's why I was advocating the school improvement group approach to learning leaders, because they become the internal change agents in the school, and that's but yeah, I agree with you entirely. Any other comments on this? The progression. I know I've been deliberately a bit provocative in this, but see, I think it's much more difficult. You engaging in this as a journey by yourself with a school. If we said, look, we want to form a few expert groups, amongst the secondary principal class, right? Let's just take 2 or 3 of the biggest challenges we have. And we begin to sort of, and this could be one of them, I think it is, most probably would be, then we actually work on protocols together about how we do this. And I think that it then removes the onus, and removes the personalization of the challenge away from us. I was talking this morning, John, about the conversation we had in the car after we left that primary school last time I was here, and you said, how much courage does it require to be a principal? And it is quite daunting to deal with that face on. But if we're doing that as a group and problematizing it and saying, then it becomes a lot easier. Okay, let me just, I've just got a few minutes left. Let me just take you to one other area, the one final area, which I'm just going to just open up a little bit, because I think this is another area where we may want to focus some of our energies over time. If you go back, one of the continuing themes of today and our discussion on leadership is really how we mobilize things, how we energize the school. It's not just about implementing John Monroe's literacy program, right? As important and as powerful as that is, it's about how we, integrate that with the movement of the school as a whole. And we've been implicitly talking, and all of you are on a journey. You're all on different phases of the journey, and there are leadership skills which are required, which are different from how you're taking the school through. How you take a school from awful to adequate is very different from how you take a school from good to great. But it requires, I think, a lot of understanding about how we actually manage change and what skills we need as leaders, in this situation.